Welcome back to the Porterverse Workbench. Today we'll be doing something a little different, as we'll be covering a non-engine character for the very first time in the series. Here is my model of Bruno. For all you casual fans of Thomas out there probably wondering, who the fuck is Bruno? Well, Bruno is a character from the All Engines Go reboot, and he's actually my favorite character from the entire reboot as well. I just find him super relatable at times, and he's all around pretty chill guy. So I just knew I had to add him to the collection, as he is, in my opinion, the saving grace of the atrocious reboot. You might notice, however, that Bruno in this model looks very different from his All Engines Go counterpart. As in All Engines Go, Bruno is a bogey caboose, and my model of him is that of a barber caboose. Probably wondering why. Well, I should get into that now. Let's dive into Bruno's backstory in the Porterverse. Without further ado, let's get into it. Bruno is a barber caboose built in the late 1910s. He worked on the Big City Railroad in his early years, and often saw Porter, Little Owl, and all those other guys on the railroad. He would see a significant scenery change in 1924 when he, along with other cabooses, were purchased by the Northwestern Railway to work on Sodor. These cabooses, along with Bruno, will become part of the new subsidiary for the Northwestern Railway, known as Kildane Transport. This was when Bruno was fitted with buffers and European-style couplings. These cabooses could be seen on nearly all trains going along the branch that ran from Kildane, the capital of Sodor, to the northern town of Peel-Godred. Bruno will operate on the line until 1966. This was when the cabooses were retired and most of them were scrapped. Bruno will be the only one not scrapped, however, as he was saved by Sir Thomas himself. When the Northwestern Railway was reformed in 1968, Bruno was placed into service on the Northwestern Railway main line. And into the early 1970s, he would end up bouncing around the various branch lines on the island. This means he would often work with either Thomas, Sigrid, Duck, Toby, and all those guys in that general region of the island. And Bruno would be officially placed on the Arlesdale branch line in the 1990s, and work with Sigrid full-time. In this where we can find Bruno in present day. Okay, I know I say this for nearly every model now, but Bruno was probably the easiest to make out of the whole collection. It actually might be the truest time I say this, as he's just an HO scale barber caboose. And these are very, very easy to come by, especially in the United States. And Bruno is just a very simple repaint. However, the version that I used had lettering on the sides. My original plan was just to simply sand off the lettering and leave the red shade as it was molten red plastic. But sanding proved to be a little difficult as I didn't want to fuck up the wood paneling finish on the sides. So I decided fuck it and opted to repaint the caboose fully. And so I primed the whole caboose body in a white primer. After that dried, I sprayed the body in Rust-Oleum Poppy Red. I originally bought this color to use for the Scarlowe Railway engines, as I'm planning to make them eventually in the distant future, as I already have Scarlowe. But you'll find this color in other models as well eventually. After that dried, I used toothpicks to make out the yellow window frames. There's also when I fitted buffers to the front and back of Bruno. These are HO scale Markland buffers that are designed by the LBC Thomas. After that was done, I painted the roof of Bruno in Apple Barrel's Timeless Gray. And after all those paint details were done, I sprayed the body in a matte clear coat to finish it off. And just like that, Bruno was done. I just really like how it turned out. It was just a really fun model to make. It came out so right, you know? Thank you all very much for watching this episode of the Porterverse Workbench, and I shall see you all same time next week.